Today, we're diving into one of the hottest topics for the 2025 fantasy season. Will Brian Thomas Jr. become a wide receiver one for the Jaguars? We're talking about his potential to explode and how he could deliver serious value for your team. Brian Thomas Jr. has shown glimpses of greatness since stepping into the NFL. With a combination of speed, agility, and an uncanny ability to make plays when it counts, he's quickly becoming a player to watch. But can he make the leap from a promising young talent to an elite fantasy wide receiver? Let's start by looking at his 2024 season. Now, it's important to note that Thomas's stats were heavily influenced by injuries to other key players on the Jaguars' offense. When Christian Kirk and Evan Engram were sidelined, Thomas took full advantage of the opportunity, and the results were impressive. Over the course of the games where both Kirk and Engram were unavailable, Thomas averaged over 25 fantasy points per game. That's an elite number for a wide receiver, and in fantasy terms, that's WR1 territory. But we need to dig a little deeper. During those games, Thomas was clearly Trevor Lawrence's go-to option. The chemistry between them was undeniable. With both Kirk and Engram off the field, Thomas commanded a higher share of targets, and most importantly, he produced at a high level in critical moments. In these games, we saw him catch deep passes, make tough catches in traffic, and even display excellent YAC yards after catch. When the Jaguars needed someone to step up, Thomas was there, showcasing a skill set that might have some fantasy owners thinking he's ready for a much bigger role in 2025. Looking ahead to 2025, there's a real chance that Brian Thomas Jr. could step into a bigger role for the Jaguars. First off, let's talk about the Jaguars' offense as a whole. Trevor Lawrence is only getting better. We saw some major strides from him in 2024, and with another year of experience, you can bet he'll be even more consistent and dangerous in 2025. The connection between Lawrence and Thomas is expected to be a big focal point of the offense next year. With a solid QB-WR duo, the sky's the limit. Add to that the fact that the Jaguars are expected to pass more often with a more balanced play calling, and it's easy to see how Thomas could be in line for a massive fantasy season. In 2025, Thomas could see a larger portion of the target share, especially if he continues to build rapport with Lawrence. This is where the opportunity for fantasy owners really comes into play. If Thomas takes a step forward as a primary option in the passing game, he could easily become a weekly starter for fantasy managers looking for consistent WR1 production. So, what's the bottom line here? Will Brian Thomas Jr. be a WR1 in 2025? It's very possible. With a strong 2024 showing, a developing connection with Trevor Lawrence, and an increased role in the Jaguars' offense, Thomas could absolutely be one of the top wide receivers in fantasy next season. If you're looking for that breakout player to add to your roster, don't sleep on Brian Thomas.